Yeah, I lost picture there, but we're back with a beautiful little group of dwarf mongoose. They dive for their burrows when we stop, but they're coming back out now. They're sunning themselves. They're very dusty little children. F convergence. Maybe I should go a little bit forward, it might be a bit more open. Might be fine. Ephraim, come in. Bit more. Yeah, I thought you only had Mkonzo. Confirm you got Ngala? Yeah, what's your luck? Okay, copied. Yeah, I'll make my way there. Chipam Road, Philemon's Cutline. Delala Panzi. Thanks, Mfo. Well, we do have lion to see. Yeah, big males, 2. 1, 2. We've got as many squirrels as we have dwarf mongoose. We just had 4 squirrels running on the road. Okay, I can't count because there's 7 mongoose. Almost as many. No, there's another squirrel. That makes 5. Even more, almost as many. Sorry, what was that?
I guess people want to see lions, so...
Yeah, no, it's gorgeous watching the mongoose.
Yeah.
But we will see them again.
Where are the squirrels?
Pardon? Okay. We've got a ways to go to find these lions, but let's get going. We can spend the rest of the morning watching them. Sleeping, maybe. Oh wait, before, oh gosh, I found something incredibly interesting, but I can't show you now. Maybe I'll show you when we get to the end of drive. Remind me, Seb, the end of drive, when I say goodbye, and I'll show you all this. I'll explain it to you. While we're driving, I'm going to explain to you what I found. Now, those of you who have spent a lot of time with us, especially in the summer months, will be familiar with the most beautiful of all spiders. For those of you who can believe that spiders are beautiful, the big golden orb spiders that, maybe not as big as my hand, but they're big, and they spin these most magnificent golden orb webs that sometimes span from tree to tree across the road, and at the end of the season they all die off after laying their eggs. And their egg cases are encased in 2 or 3 types of silk, and after the big female dies off, some of that web collapses, and of course it's the same time of the year when some of these trees are losing their leaves, so you often get, and I'll try to find it for you. Hello, flycatcher. You want to stay there for me? The dusky flycatcher. Isn't it funny how the flycatchers are all pale coloured and all the bee eaters are very colourful? No, it's there.
Where? Oh.
Just flew a little bit lower. I don't know if we're going to get it. Typical of a bird. Kind of watches the camera and it seems to know that moment that you get it in focus. Bye bye, flycatcher. Onward ho. So, you see, when the web collapses and disintegrates, well, it doesn't really, yeah, I guess in a way it disintegrates. This little egg case, this little silk egg case with a few hundred eggs in it, is somewhat obscured, somewhat camouflaged by dead leaves, and the silk itself is important because there are a number of parasitic insects that are likely to get in there or get their eggs in there. One being a parasitic wasp that will lay numerous eggs within the egg case. She'll be able to get her ovipositor deep within that egg case if she finds it, if she's lucky. And she will inject a few eggs, maybe a dozen eggs, into that egg case. And when her larva hatches, those wasp larvae, will eat all the little spiderlings that are growing inside their eggs. And then those wasp larvae will then spin little silk cocoons. And that is what I found. I found this is an egg case of a golden orb spider. Still got that lovely slight golden tinge to it, even though it's a few months old. And it is jam-packed with the cocoons of a parasitic wasp instead of being packed with spider's eggs. See if we can, I don't know, it might be a little bit too small to show that to you. Maybe I'll take a photograph of it, put it on the blog or something. Oh, I can see the baboons making their way down this way. What's up, squirrel? Watching something. Squirrel runs, stands up, and runs, stands up. I guess it's just watching another squirrel. These baboons, I'm sure, are coming down towards Philemon's Dip. They're going to probably raid the sausage tree, the flowers. And today, instead of a duiker eating flowers under the sausage tree, there is a nyala. Hardly see her. There she's poking her head out. Come back down here again. But it's getting a little bit darker as the leaves of the sausage tree get a bit bigger. Oh, she's running away. She's looking for flowers that are falling. There's a squirrel up there. Normally quite a lot of life up in a sausage tree when it flowers. Bunch of nyala on the ground here. A lot of birds up there too. Getting at the flowers. Green pigeons just flying away. Yeah, I can see a couple of squirrels feeding on flowers. But don't want to spend too much time because we want to go look for lions. Sorry, Seb. Here comes the Gari gang. Gary gang and Ephraim with guests. It must be Tyson or that big male. I am enjoying.
Number one both.
Call my chef guard.
Yeah, you go by it.
Okay. Don't call. Good morning.
Okay, boss.
Okay. From Bakash.
Okay, boss.
No more. Hi. Hello, Gary gang. Good Buna. Lovely when you get to them in either the late afternoon or early morning light coming through their hair. Ah, he was sitting in such a wonderful pose. Yeah. And most of the troops moved off, but and Lucas wants to come down to the pump, and we want to get to Lion. What do they? There's something that's disturbing them. What's up, children? Apart from us. They're suddenly running. I think there were one or two that were sort of standing up and looking into the bush. There were no alarm calls. Morning, Lucas.
Hi.
Fine, and you?
I'm good.
Do you know if they pumped for Ingo's house yesterday?
Yes, I did pump today.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Have a good day, Paul.
Yes.
Okay, time to start derobing. Removing layers. Hello, little mongoose. Gotta learn to look left and right when you cross the road. Alex. I'm right here on quarantine and I still can't hear you, and I'm putting the volume up. Okay, thanks. Laurie, why do we rarely see elephants? Well, it's not really that we rarely see them. Sometimes we see them every day. And it's pretty much a similar answer to why we rarely see cheetah and wild dog and other animals that are not that territorial. Because we have such a small area, and these are animals that cover such vast areas. And there's elephant all around at the moment. There's elephant on Torchwood, there's elephant on Buffelshoek. They're just not on this little patch of Western Gowrie. Much like the lion. I mean, the lion crossed this area in half an hour if they wanted to. And quite often we find their tracks, just as we did this morning. They came onto Djuma, and by sunrise they were gone already. Elephant walking in a straight line, east to west, north to south, across this area in a matter of less than an hour. So, not that there's seasonal movement or they're migrating or anything. It's just a matter of when there's going to be elephant in this tiny little patch of 1,000 hectares amongst several million hectares. It's something that I can't emphasize enough. That the animals in the area are not confined to this 1,000 hectares of Western Gowrie, or Djuma Game Reserve, should I say. It's like, I've been trying to think of an analogy, and I think one of the analogies that I've just come up with now is, you take a big city, and you take, out of that huge city, you take one shopping mall. Not everybody is in that shopping mall at every one time, because then it'll be too crowded. But that's an aside. Apart from that, people from all over the city will visit that shopping mall at some point, but they have other things to do elsewhere in the city. Kind of, let's take that and use that as an analogy for here. Western Gowrie or Djuma being that shopping mall, and the whole actually city. Let's talk about country, not city. Country, because the Kruger Park is as big as some countries. The whole extensive Kruger Park. Let's face it, we're talking about an area that is over 300 miles long, and it's got to be at its widest point maybe 100 miles wide, if that. It is an exceptionally large area. And there's a lot of these animals that are not resident, that are not territorial animals. Will move over maybe not that whole 7-8 million acres. They might not move that extensive an area, but they do move over vast areas, and it's just a matter of having the luck to have them on this little patch of ground for this day. I don't know, does that make any sense? Maybe that is what makes it so much fun driving around here every day, because we know that at any one moment we can find something that wasn't here yesterday. That's the beauty of it. Okay? It might be a little restrictive in terms of having to see the same roads all the time, or having to see the same dams and not getting very much further away than the area that we drive. But there is a huge positive side to that. One of it is, of course, is that we do get to see the animals that are resident here, because every animal species is different. Some animals have small territories. The likes of Karula, whose territory is maybe just a little bit bigger than Djuma. So that is why we see her a lot, and boys. There's elephant tracks all over the place here. They were here a couple of days ago. Karula lives here, and because she lives here we get to see her pretty often, and it's only every now and then when she crosses over into Buffelshoek, or maybe she goes down into Hoffman, or maybe east into Torchwood, that we don't find any of her tracks. But for the most part she lives here. The impala are all resident, the warthog are resident, the baboons are resident. Zebra, they're not territorial, they're seasonal. And at the moment there are a lot of zebra around, same as giraffe. Giraffe will either move in and stay in the area for a little bit, or aha, I think this is where the lion are, somewhere in here. I'm seeing tire tracks. And a quarry branch in the road. This is not far from camp, by the way. And I was going to go for a walk to look for hyena den. I think I'll leave it for today, because not with these lion lying around. Lion lying around. Maybe we'll be lucky today in finding or having elephants coming back, maybe coming towards Gari Dam. Okay boys, where are you? I see a lion. I see a lion. Looks like a very big male. Not one of the Kajimas. I think it might be one of the Kumas. Uh-oh. He's getting a bit shy. I'm going to stop and switch off. I don't want him to walk away. Let him just stand up and we'll stop here. Morning, young man. About a 3-year-old, judging by that mane.
One is got again.
Yeah.
It's one of them Kuruma.
Yeah, I think so. Back left. Wonder where his brother is. There are evidently 2 of them. But yeah, he's heading deeper into bush. Yeah, I want him to maybe settle down and find, there we go, maybe he'll lie down there. Yep. Okay. Let's see if we can get a bit closer to him. He is a little bit...
The other one is right there, eh?
Where?
Just there. I can, because I'm a bit higher up than you, I can see him.
Okay.
He's
Let's
back
see if we can
certain
move and
meters
get a
away.
better view of them. getting pretty thick in here. Didn't sound too good. Oh, there we go. He's putting his head up now. Also moving away. Okay, these boys are shy. Only without the female. Moving up to his brother now. Gone down into the drainage line. Heading. I'm going to try and move a little. No, he's going much deeper in now. So he's lying down. We can try and find our way through to get there, but it's difficult. It's difficult. Might have to go around, a long way around, unless I can squeeze through. I might be able to get through here. Sorry, young man. Open patch of ground here, but it's just a matter of getting to it. That's the problem. There's a lot of knobthorn that's been fallen over. Maybe these branches are. Whoa! Whoa! Hidden hole. Sorry, left, you're right. Did we lose anything?
Hello everyone, Alex here in Final Control. Looks like we've got a bit of a problem on the aerial on the Ganda. We are trying to fix it at the moment. Looks like the connection came loose there, so we don't have signal from the Ganda at the moment. So please stay with us and we'll come back to you soon. fix it before the end of the drive, then we'll obviously drive back to the line starting for you guys.
Hi everyone. Mark here, back in Final Control. We brought the jigger back. Unfortunately, the aerial cable came out of the aerial, which is what stopped our broadcast this morning. Hopefully we can get it done in time to get back out there. We've still got some time of drive this morning. I didn't break it, Sandyev. It broke. So, hello everybody. Just looking at chat. And what are you going to do with me? It wasn't me. It wasn't even my elbow. It was I'm in the driver's seat. The aerial is at the back of the vehicle. I was at least 6-7 feet away from it, so it wasn't me. How much does it weigh? How much does what weigh? The cable. It's an aerial cable. It's a matter of just dismantling the aerial, putting the cable back inside it, and should be fine. Should be. So what have we got? What's happening this morning? You all having fun? Staying up late? And let's see, have I missed anything on emails? Beverly Weber. Animals. Do we see less animals in summer because of the heat? Not really. We perhaps sometimes see less because of the density of the vegetation. But no, not really. Deborah Rose had a question earlier about, I had said there was a snake track in the road, and I hope to see a snake and get it on camera. I wish there was a snake. So Deborah was asking, have I had many encounters with snakes in the bush? Yeah, okay, we won't go into the barefoot thing. But Deborah Rose, if you're still watching, yes, I do have many times, many occasions, many encounters, many moments with snakes, especially when I'm at home and I'm reading, sitting around. I have a couple of resident snakes around home that I sometimes get to watch, and also living in lodges and camps around Africa. When you're in one place, you get to know individual snakes because they're territorial and you get to see them a lot. But also sometimes the birds tell you where snakes are, and sometimes if you don't take note of what they're doing, they get more and more insistent that you come and have a look at a snake and chase it away from their nest. Actually, it doesn't take much. You just got to put in an appearance and the snake disappears, and then the bird gets happy by actually becoming quiet. Yeah, I've had one or two other encounters with snakes. Never been bitten on the foot from being barefoot. Been bitten on the hand from picking up a snake. It does concern me going barefoot. It is a concern. It is something to consider, especially like this morning when I was looking at line tracks and walking off into the dry grasses. There's always a possibility of the likes of a puff adder lying under some of those grasses, and one has to be very, very careful. I tend not to walk into areas where I can't see where I'm putting my foot, or I can't see what is around my feet. This morning was a bit of an exception to the rule, but one of these days something will trigger a memory, and I'll talk about snakes on drive and snake experiences that I've had. Most of them have been pleasant. Connie, North Dakota. Heard about a boy in Limpopo who's friends with killer buffaloes. No, they're not killer buffaloes. Luke Michaelides. They're hand-reared buffaloes, so they're probably about as tame as cows, although they are likely to still get a little bit irritable when they get older, these buffaloes, with the very young buffalo there. There are a number of farms that are breeding disease-free buffalo, and to do that they pretty much raise them by hand, and that's the only reason why this youngster can be doing what he's doing with this young buffalo. They probably grew up, well, the young buffalo is only about a 2-year-old, 3-year-old. And of course an article that is written here makes it sound so dangerous. It says they can easily rip apart a full-grown man, let alone a 13-year-old, but that hasn't stopped Luke from becoming friends with Hopalong and her offspring Skip-along. Yes. But take a lot of that with a pinch of salt. They are not... hold on a sec, Graham's on the line. Okay, I'm back. So I was just reading an article that was sent to me by somebody about a young lad in Limpopo province. Doesn't say exactly where. Anyways, back to emails. CJ541. Oh, we did that one. I'm just going through mails earlier. Baby rhino was the little one born a couple of months ago. We saw a few drives ago, and if he saw the new baby hippo, I forgot who was it that saw baby hippo smaller than Bob. Also, did he see that pregnant Steenbuck again? Also asking where the Ellie's hiding and oh, there. That's from Bets. Bets. I've heard on the radio at least 3 or 4 different groups of elephants all around Western Gowrie, none of them on Western Gowrie. The closest, as I was coming back into camp now, there's a herd of Ellies up on Cheetah Cutline Central Road, so they might be around Buffelshoek Dam later today for Patrick's drive this afternoon, so we'll have to hopefully get that. I'm not too sure which baby rhino you're talking about, Bets, but it's not the little one we saw a couple of months ago. And baby hippo, as it, don't know. Can't answer those questions about baby rhinos and hippos. I'm not too sure where they are. Haven't seen them for a while. And then with Laurie, why do we rarely see elephants, which we were talking about, and elephants, we'll be seeing them pretty soon, I'm sure. We've got a bunch more emails coming in. There we go. Thank you, Laurie. Just getting back to me again. Thanks, Laurie. I hope it did kind of put it into perspective. I need to try and find a different way of putting it across, other than cities and shopping malls. And Marlene, did they get a good enough view of the lions to ID them? They are not Tikajimas, they are the 2 young kahuna males. And the one went deep into the drainage line, the other one was lying down in an area that, if we can, I'm going to certainly try and get back there in as well. Alex and Sebastian are busy working on the aerial. Jennifer, update on that pregnant Steenbuck? No, we must go. I went past there this morning, hoping to find it. It's one of the reasons why I went along Twin Dams Road this morning. Although it was very cold, maybe we need to try that in the afternoon again. She lives in a very thick area, so it'll take a number of bypasses before we might see her again. What I do need to do, actually, maybe I'll just go back to that spot of shade where she was and see if there's any sign that she had given birth. Thanks, Elizabeth, for your email. And Sharon, thanks for your email. We just talking about the feed. So that's it for emails right now. See what you're doing in chat. There we go, back to chat. Time to go back in chat. At least it's a little bit easier to scroll back in chat these days. Takes a while because you can't do it slowly. So I'm just going to see what I've missed. That was all at 7:30. Oh no, that's a long time ago. Let's get back to something more within this time frame since I got back. Okay, now this is where we were a few minutes ago, good 15 minutes ago. That's where I'm going to go back to in chat. Oh, another phone ringing. I think that was a computer. I can't scroll it slowly to get Sandy Ev. Sandy Ev. Sandy Ev. Those the pictures of the wild. No, that was a Kigali I got from India. I'm not sure if I got the pictures of the wild pair you sent. Where did you send them to? Did you send? If you sent them to Final Control, I must have missed them. It would have to be sent to my private email, my personal email rather. mark@safari.tv. Hello, Al. When will drive time change, Susan? I'm not sure, still a little bit. I mean, we are kind of missing Jumbo Caddy. Good morning. We're just missing sunrise, which means that if we leave at 5:30 now, it's still going to be dark. So we're going to wait maybe another month. Who knows? We will be going out at 5:30 one of these days. Still a little bit. Still a little while before we do that. Oh, I'm looking at you in the Wild Earth chat. So anyone I've got to open here because Alex is busy on the computer and I don't want to fiddle with what he's got open and what he's doing. Viewers now, none. Oh, no, surely not. What is Sandy? What does the EV stand for? Sandy EV. We don't have to answer that. Okay, that's Sandy that always asks about weights and measures. Okay. Someone in JTV wants to know if we drive down Shbam Road toward the quarry. We do. We just don't ever get to see the quarry because the quarry is actually off Gowrie Main. One of these days I'll turn into the quarry to show you. But I was saying that that's a quarry that they use for shooting practice. Hence the name Shbam Road. How are we doing?
It's fixed. We should get.
Okay, we're just waiting for signal and everything to come back again. What is the specific gravity of sand? Sand doesn't have an SG because it's because it's all broken up. And we can talk about the specific gravity of a grain of sand, but then it depends on whether it's sandstone, quartz, granite. I know, Heather, yes. I was just playing you on there. Oh, you were asking Sandy. Okay, not me. Alright. I'll go back to the vehicle. Oh, sandy sand. What's the specific gravity of sandy sand? I used to know SGs when I was in the mining business. In another lifetime. I've lived a number of lifetimes. More lives than a cat, in fact. Is there quartz in that sand? Yeah, we do have quartz in the sand because there's quartz intrusions in the granite base of the geology of this area. Evans. Okay, you see, Sandy, I thought it was an Indian name. I thought it was somebody from India called Sandiev. Oh, Lisa's still here. Nice to see you. You haven't gone to bed yet, Lisa. And we're just waiting for something to come through. You're looking for that thing?
Yeah.
That's in here, I think. Or it could, no, it's in that DVD drive. I was going to just... QC for construction. Bob, we just came in to fix the antenna. We'll be going out again soon. Don't know if we'll get to Ellie's this morning. They're right up on Cheetah Cut Line, just off of Cheetah Cut Line in Torchwood. I asked Ephraim to let me know which way they were moving. I haven't heard anything yet. Mark did not break the antenna. And I'm not in denial. Wait, let me just clarify something. Excuse me a moment. I just had to discuss with Sebastian what actually happened to the aerial because I was driving. When's the next school safari? Heiko, I'm still waiting for a teacher to get hold of me so we can arrange it. I was getting lots of emails and then suddenly the emails stopped, so I need to jump back on that again. You see, I was driving. The wheel fell in a ditch. The antenna fell down. See, the antenna at the back of the vehicle is held up. It's got a spring on it and it's held up with straps. And very, very seldom does it go down. And when it goes down, the camera person has to pull it back up again. And I think in pulling it back up again, that is when the aerial wire, the cable, the antenna cable came out of the antenna. So I had both hands on the steering wheel. No, actually maybe one hand on the gear lever, one hand on the steering wheel, both feet on the pedals, and my behind firmly planted in the front seat of the vehicle. That was at the back. So I'm not even taking a portion of the blame. Alright, why is it now repeating what was said earlier? Oh, your videos. Just trying to think which ones. Remind me, please. please. Waiting for picture to come back. Okay, I'm at a bit of a loss because now I don't know what you're talking about. I thought there was a question there from L a little bit earlier if I saw the video. There we go, we got picture and it looks like it's 3D, so we're going back to the lions. You watch guests walk around. Where? Okay. New rocks to show you. No. Yeah, okay, I'll check on what videos you sent me. Where, oh, you mean, where the camera is now? Yes, you see more guests than animals on the deck. Well, let's hope they're decently clad when they're walking around. Alright, I'm going to say goodbye for now, and we've got less than half an hour. At least the lion are fairly close by so we can get to them, and hopefully, even if we see flat cats, hopefully we can get that picture to you. No, cam's not functional yet, not panning, not zooming. Somehow there's a data issue, even with the new FOM, fiber optic module, FOM. Okay, so enjoy the rest of the drive, and yes, Lisa, see you from the vehicle. What Patrick? Okay, I'll ask Patrick when he comes in. What problem? Problem with the camera. Okay, sure. Thanks, Bob. Oh, you're talking about the... Yes, I know that other thing that you mentioned, Bob, about the ancestors not happy. But yes, alright, let's go and see if we can find those lines. I'll be back in a short while.
Welcome back, everybody. And we're leaving camp now. We are going to see if we can find these lions. A lot of smoke in the air. Lot of. What kind of English is that? I think my written English is better than my spoken English. That's because my tongue falls over my eye tooth and I can't see what I'm saying sometimes. Somewhere out east there's a fire somewhere. Out east there's a fire somewhere. Yeah, this is troubling. Have to wait and hear what happens on the radio. This came in now in the last half an hour, the smoke. It's not rising in a column to show us that there's a fire in any particular area. It's just it's sort of a blanketed the area in smoke. And it's just a lot more dense to the east, but that might have something to do with the fact that it's looking into the sun in the east, and so we get more of a glare than in the west. Very strong smell of smoke too. Not quite choking yet, but just interesting. Fortunately, we managed to find an easier route out of the line than into the line. Hopefully they're still there. Lying down and getting up and lying down. Little bunting running on the road. No, it's not, it's a chagra. Forget it had wings. Okay, we're going to turn off somewhere here now. Getting close. that Nyala's still there. I forgot to mention that as we were leaving, there was a Nyala right here close to this line, but I think there's not much chance of this line catch unless the Nyala walks right on top of them. She hasn't moved much. Of things. It's getting hotter and there's a lot of smoke in there. That could have got lions moving a bit. Pardon? I'm not seeing him anymore. Ah, there he is. I couldn't see him because he's flat. Can you get a view through there?
Yes.
There we go. Find yourself a decent patch of shade in the shade of that tambuti. And of course, being a flat cat lying down like this, hard for anybody to see who he is. This is one of the two Kahuma boys. The other one is still limping. I think he's probably, maybe he's got permanent damage. Bernie, come in. What will be interesting is later on, seeing where these cats go, around about sunset. They came from the gate area, they were heading east, so they're likely to go down to Gari Dam this evening. They're going to have to go either through the lodge or around the lodge. My guess is they might just follow this drainage line. It'll take them to the top end of Gari Dam. Take them past, right past camp. I just want to find out something about this fire. Bernie, come in. Bernie's not on the radio. Johnny, come in. Any word on this fire? Okay, copy. Very strong smell of it coming from when I'm at the Zingala on Gallagher. Wind is coming from the west, so maybe it's somewhere out in the west. Well, they call lion the kings of the jungle. They're actually the kings of energy conservation. The transfer of energy from the sun to the plants to the animals, down through the food chain or up through the food chain, is quite an intricate energy cycle. You could say that each time it gets passed on, there's only 10% that gets passed on. So when a lion eats, not that much energy that it gets from its food, it has to conserve a lot of energy to get food again. So you're lifting your head there, boy, just briefly, to show everybody that you can. Pitching an ear every now and then. So his brother is probably down in the drainage line. Not much way I can get into a different position to get a better angle. We are somewhat limited. Alright, copy that, Alex. Copy that.
Kind of.
There's an unusually large population of male lion in the immediate area. From Manyaleti coming down through here down to Mala Mala. And I think it's still going to be a number of years before lion in this area can settle down and have cubs safely. I was reading about a group of 11 sub-adult males, one of whom was killed recently up in Manyaleti. When those boys decide to start roaming around, 10 young males, that's quite a force to be reckoned with. Of course, their numbers will no doubt drop as they encounter other males and maybe fights ensue and maybe individuals get taken out. The 4 Machinga lions, the 2 Gajimas. Don't know what's happened with the Manyaleti male or males, the Mapojos. A stark contrast to the typical, perhaps the typical pride structure that we can think of with the one male and a bunch of females and youngsters, and they all hunt zebra very happily ever after, until the old male gets too old and is moved on and the dynamics change. But with so many males in the area, the females are not going to be conceiving as readily as what's the word I'm looking for? Just that they're not going to be producing cubs much. It is so disruptive at the moment. There is supposedly a lioness up on Buffelshoek with cubs, with fairly young cubs, a few months old. As far as I know, she's the only one. When I arrived here, there were lots of cubs. Well, youngsters. I think there were 9 in the sticks. And I can't even remember how many youngsters there were in the Kahuma prize. And I should know these 2 boys from seeing the Kahumas from time to time, but just don't see them often enough to know the individuals, or not to know who's not here anymore. Quite sad. I wish we could spend more time with them. A lot of time we spend with lion. It's very similar to this, mostly because we're out in the day We start in the heat of the day in the afternoon, we end in the heat of the day in the morning. In fact, it doesn't take long. Now we're going into spring and summer. Not going to take long for the sun to start raising the temperatures already by 7 o'clock in the morning, putting lion to sleep. One of the reasons we do stay with them and we sit with them while they're sleeping is because lion at any one moment can jump up and go from sleeping to hunting mode in absolutely no time at all. A lot of times when they go out hunting, it's a planned hunt. It's after a lot of resting. But every now and then they do become the sheer opportunists that cats generally are, in that they will stalk something that will be walking nearby when they're sleeping like this relatively thick bush. Not that easy in some ways. Not that easy for them to make a kill. Although if something were to come by, it would get relatively close to them before they would hear it or see it. But it depends on what it is. I mean, buffalo coming through, they'd hear buffalo from a distance. The likes of kudu or bushbuck or nyala, they're quite dainty, they're very, very silent. Lion would hear impala coming through the bush, they'd hear the herd grazing, and might hear warthog. Well, we kind of come to the end of our drive, I'm afraid. We're going to have to say goodbye to you now. Hopefully Patrick will be able to find these boys later this afternoon, and failing that they might get to the dam just around sunset or just after. You've been watching Safari TV live here at Sabi Sands, Djuma Game Reserve. My name is Mark. Sebastian is on camera, and Alex has been in final control. So from us here on the Buganda, thanks everybody, good night if you're going to bed, and we'll see you later. Bye for now. Oh, I've got to look at you. Sorry, I'm looking at the line. I thought.
That's why I said I'm on you.
Oh. Sorry. I know, we're running a bit late, so I'm going to have to say goodbye. So bye everybody, and see you later. And what can we switch off?